Alrighty, guys, welcome to tonight's session. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. Happy Thursday. So, in tonight's session, I want to talk a little bit about a couple things. Number one, I ended up taking, again, this is going to be a surprise to a lot of people, but I took 4 losses today. Oh my God, Justin took 4 losses? That is crazy. Okay, we're going to talk about why, and we're going to talk about how much money I lost. Number one, going into the day, it is a day I normally would not trade. And going into the morning, I sat there and was like, you know what? I already know that I would not even trade this morning, but I know you guys are going to be mad if I don't hop on, so I'm going to hop on anyway. And I said in the pre-market chat about my bias, I said, y'all should know what I'm going to say by now just by looking at this chart. 300-point move to the overnight session, most likely expecting inefficient action. ES has taken the weekly objective as well, expecting bad conditions. Be careful. Going to be on live to just backtest, but normally I would not even trade today. Capital preservation is key. You have to recognize when you should play offense and defense. Going into the morning, everything I expect to see, I expect to get ran through. And I knew that today, in a day that I normally would not trade. And I wanted to come on live with you guys and show you how much those concepts, that everything that we think, will still most of the time have super low probability just because of where we are in the chart. So I traded one contract today. One contract. If you are trading on a day like this, you should be either trading paper or you should be trading like 1/10 of your size. And again, recognizing conditions is one of the most important things about trading. I saw some people being like that were flaming me in another Discord being like, "Oh my God, Justin took 4 trades." I took 4 losses and it didn't even touch my half size win. Nothing. Today was simply just to show you guys what bad conditions can do if you don't know how to recognize them and you're not preparing yourself for them. If you're not trading in low size, if you're not doing anything, today was a prime example of what was going to happen. Now, a lot of today also, I'm not going to lie, I have a love-hate relationship with NVIDIA because after NVIDIA earnings, I'm making a lot of money from FET, but I'm also pissed that the market just keeps going higher. This move I hate. I hate this move. We don't get any opportunity with a move like this. And this is literally all because of NVIDIA earnings. NVIDIA had earnings. NQ absolutely pumps because of it. The whole tech sector is absolutely booming. We came down, formed an SMT, and then pretty much is just going straight up to this buy side level. ES objective had already been taken. Today was just slow consolidation in the morning and then just kind of slow grind up the rest of the day. So today, I want you guys to know, if you are down on the day or if you lost today or whatever it is, today is a conviction destroyer type of day. If somebody comes into the day and you don't have me in your ear saying like, bro, whatever happened today, you need to learn from and just recognize that everything today was expected for it to not do what we normally would expect it to do. And that is the whole point of what I want to go over in this charting session is there will be days where your concepts and you think that you know everything and it's the most A+ setup and everything still fails. And it's the reason why the times when that happens, there is a reason why that happens. It happens because we are at a point in time in price action where there is no reason for the market to do what you expect it to do because we either accumulate or we continue until we have more structure to validate. So going into a day like this, recognizing conditions, right? What are the main things I'm looking for conditions, right? All-time highs, no news, bank holiday, 300-point move in the overnight session, weekly objective taken, morning objective taken, daily objective taken, whatever it is. All of these things I do not want to see. All of these things are reasons for me to lower my size. So why am I trading one Normally, you guys will see me trade like, and I want you guys to keep in mind too, on a day like this, when was the last time that you guys have seen me take this many losses? Almost never. And guess what? On the day that I took all these losses, I was trading one contract. Oh my God, it's like I knew I was going to lose today. Oh my God, how did Justin know he was going to lose today? Well, number one, I shouldn't even been trading today. I'm going to be honest. I told myself going in the morning, this is a normal day that I wouldn't trade, but I wanted to come on live because I knew you guys would be upset if I didn't. But it's still a day where you should recognize going into the day. It is a day where you will get hurt if you don't know how to recognize it and you don't have the discipline to position yourself accordingly. And that is the biggest part, is actually doing it. How many people came into this day and still traded their full size? And if you did trade your full size today, are you green or are you red? Red. I did like a dumbass. I did red. Small green, red. Quarter size, red. Full size, green. Full size, big red. Big red. Yes, red. Yes, red. Red. Exactly. I haven't seen this many reds in this chat in a long time. Let's ask ourselves why. Okay. Why was everybody red today? Let's think. Literally everything I just said. All of the things leading up into a day like this, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. If you know going into a day that all of these things that are right in front of your face are showing that you're not going to get what you want, why would you trade even half of your size? Like, it makes no sense. And again, win rate, percentage of your win does not matter. I took 4 losses, 4, and I'm putting that in your face. That's not something I want to hide. I want you to see I took 4 losses. I took 4 losses, but the most important part of those 4 losses is I took those losses with one single contract, 1/10 of my size, because I knew going into the day, it is extremely more likely for me to lose. And losing does not affect me on days like this. And if you can't position yourself so that it does not affect you, you're going to get hurt so bad, and all of your progress is going to go down the drain on days like this. And not only is it going to go down the drain, but you're going to ruin your conviction, because you're going to see setups that normally look like A+ setups, and they're going to fail. Because we don't have the structure to validate that. We don't have the structure or any sort of reason for price to validate that, right? So I really want you to play, like, this is so important. Like, one of the most important concepts that we talk about. Recognizing conditions is a big part of your trading. But you want to know what the even bigger part of it is actually making a fucking choice to lower your size. And some of you have to get slapped a lot. Some of you have to hear me say, guys, trade lower size today. Like, you should not even really be trading today. Why are you trading this? What the fuck are you doing? And then afterwards, you're like, oh, I should have listened to Justin. Like, it has to happen over and over again for some of you guys to learn. That's just how it is. But the question you have to really ask yourself is, I see some of you guys make the same mistakes over and over again, and you have no change. That's a problem. If you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, you're fucking insane. Literally. You have to really sit down and ask yourself if you want to change. And if you don't, trading's not for you. I'm just going to say that right now. It's not. Because guess what? If today hit you hard, there is always going to be days like this. That should scare you. Because what you're doing right now, imagine if this day happened every single week. You would be absolutely in the gutter. Because you don't have the process and the tools to protect yourself from days like this. It will always happen. In your entire trading career, there will be days worse than this. That is why risk management, and that is why having the discipline to be like, hey, this is just another trading today. This is just another trading day. Why would I want to waste all my my gains that I've been working on the last week that I've been super consistent with and give it all back to the market on a day like this where I know I'm not going to get any good setups? And the same thing happens. I tell you guys before the market even opens today, and almost all days where we have low conditions, even if it's an A+ setup, it's still probably not going to work out. It's going to have way or lower probability. And you have to be able to recognize those things. You have to be very, very picky with what you do. And if you are not being picky, you have to lower your size or paper trade and gain experience. I told you guys in the morning today, I'm simply coming on live to backtest price action. I'm simply coming on live to forward test price action. That is it. I'm not focusing on making money. I'm not trading full size. I'm not trading half size. I'm not even trading a quarter of my size. I'm trading one contract, and I'm just going to take things that I would like to see. Some of you guys get so zoomed in as well. One day doesn't mean anything. 1 week doesn't mean anything. 1 year doesn't mean anything. You guys are so zoomed in on your journey that one losing day is like the end of the fucking world. And guess what? It can be the end of the world if you're not putting on good risk. If you come into the day and you over leverage and you just jump out of trades, in, out, like whatever the fuck his name was today, you're never going to be successful. So before I even get into these trades, I really want to sit and ask you guys some questions. What do you think is holding you back? Because again, I agree. I think a lot of you guys, your main problem is psychology. You know our concepts. You know they work. You're good at taking trades. But when days like this happen, you end up in the gutter. What is the hardest things for you guys in your trading, psychologically? What do you find is your biggest faults, and how can we fix them? Okay, avoiding lower quality setups. Let's start with this one. Avoiding lower quality setups. How can we avoid lower quality setups? Number one, avoiding lower quality setups always is going to start with you having the recognition of if you actually want to be consistent and you want to make money, lower quality setups is not doing that. It's false perception of the possibility of you making money. When you go into the market and you think you see something and you're like, oh, this looks good, your brain immediately goes, oh, let me look at my P&L. Oh, I could take this trade right now. You know, oh, I want to press a button right now. I want to press a button because I want my P&L to go up, blah, blah, blah. And you might be like, Justin, that's not what I'm thinking. Brother, that is what psychologically in your head, because you would not make that decision if that was not your fucking goal. Every action that you do is based off of psychologically whatever goal you have in your head. So if you go into the market and you consistently say, every single time before market even I want you to write this fucking down too. For the people who struggle with this, I want you to get a sticky note and I want you to put it on your computer. Every single morning before the market open, I want you to sit down and say, today, I'm only taking A+ setups. I am going to build good habits today. I am not taking any trade that doesn't look so fucking good that I have to take it. The trade should look so good that you have to take it. Not, oh, this looks okay. If you go into a trade and you're like, oh, this looks okay, you should not take it. And some of you guys are guys, longs look good. Motherfucker, longs should look fucking fantastic if you are looking to take a trade. Shorts look good. No, brother. Shorts should look like the best goddamn opportunity you've ever taken in your life. And some of you guys are so focused on just it has the potential to make me money. This trade has the potential to make me money, so I'm going to take it. It doesn't matter how shit it is. You know how dumb that fucking mindset is? I could press buy any day of... I could press buy without looking at a chart any second of the day, and I could have the possibility of making money. I could press sell any second of the day without looking at a chart, and I have the possibility of making money. Oh, but just because it has the possibility, should I fucking do it? No. But that's how some of you guys trade. Recognizing conditions. I have given you all the tools. And there's actually a lot of tools in the masterclass. There's a whole section on recognizing conditions. Recognizing conditions is not a hard thing. Okay, actually no, let me not say that. It's not that it's not easy, but it's a multitude of things. Recognizing conditions becomes a lot easier with experience. But guess what? Recognizing conditions is not the hard part. It's making a fucking decision from recognizing conditions. That is your problem. Your problem is not recognizing conditions. I'm telling you right now, your problem is not recognizing conditions. You know when to trade and when not to trade. The part is actually taking that into account and making a decision from that decision. Saying, hey, I think market conditions look bad today. But you know what? I'm not going to lower my size. I'm just going to take everything I see. Like, bro, what? You can recognize conditions. That's not the fucking problem. The problem is you actually making a decision to lower your fucking size. That's the problem. So it's not a fucking conditions thing. Most of you know how to recognize market conditions. And if you don't, that's fine. It'll take time. Again, we've talked about it a lot before. It'll be a lot in the masterclass. But it's not, I'm telling you right now, it's not a problem of recognizing market conditions. It's you having the problem of not making a decision after recognizing the market conditions. That's the problem. Because you're more focused on satisfaction than you are long-term growth. You want to have satisfaction right now. You wake up and you were like, your whole entire mood of the day depends on if you are green or red. Does that sound healthy? How many of you guys, and this used to be me. My entire day would be like, my entire mood for the entire day would all depend on my morning. If I was green or if I was red. If that is you, you will never be successful. You are way too connected. You are way too connected to the outcome. Because guess what? You will always lose. Losing is trading. The best traders in the entire world lose. Until you can overpass that stage, until you can overcome that feeling, you will not be successful. You have to get through the feeling of being able to take a loss and it not faze you whatsoever. And a lot of the times, how do you do that, Justin? How do I do that? Lower your fucking size. I don't even want to smile if I'm on a red day. Exactly. That's fucking terrible. Does that sound like healthy? Does that sound like a healthy mental? I got to be good at not taking trades. Many of you do. A big problem with many of you is actually multiple things. Number one, so many of you guys think that if I'm not actively putting on trades, I'm not improving. That is one of the worst mindsets you can possibly have in trading. If I'm not constantly trading, or if I'm not putting on trades, I'm not improving or I'm not doing something right. That is complete opposite. I saw the dumbest fucking message today of somebody in another Discord who actually used to be in our Discord, flaming me for not taking a trade every single day. Like, oh my God. I hope I'm so thankful. I'm actually so thankful that all of you guys are here listening to me right now and not some fucking idiot. Because do not listen to any single fucking person that says something that dumb. That if you're not taking a trade every single day, you're doing something wrong. It is the exact opposite. The more days where you don't trade shows me that you know more about what you're looking for than any other person does. If you could go into a day and not take a trade, that shows me that, number one, you know exactly what you're looking for and it wasn't there, and you had the discipline to not take it. That's fucking massive. That's huge. And that's big. You have to be able to get to that point. And again, like I always say, and some other people call this shit dumb too. You should go into every single day expecting to not take a trade, and you should go into every single trade expecting to lose. Justin, why should I do that? Because when you have expectations for something, and those expectations aren't met, you make irrational decisions. Oh, I'm gonna text my ex, and we're gonna live happily ever after. You know, I haven't talked to her in like 2 years, but let me message her. You know, when we're gonna get back together and all this shit. And then she ends up DMing you, being like, "Leave me the fuck alone, loser." And then you go absolutely ape shit because you got what you were not expecting. You expected the best and got the fucking worst. And that's how many of you guys trade. You go into the goddamn day expecting goddamn fairy dust and rainbows, and then you get shit bricks by trading terrible fucking setups, end up red on the day, and then it sparks loss, 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 loss. When you set an expectation, you make irrational decisions. So when you go into the day without any expectations, saying, hey, I'm not even going to take a trade today, or hey, I'm going to enter every single trade expecting to lose, because again, you're going in every trade expecting to lose because you're accepting the risk you put on the table. So emotions are off the table. People hate to hear lower your size, but it's so important to do this. Once you become okay with taking lower size trades from 18 out of 20 trades, you start to see the difference. You may only have opportunity to size up 1 to 2 times in a month. That's okay. Be patient. Keep your size in check. It will help. Absolutely. Guys, okay, I want you guys to really take a look at my trading. Me specifically. You'll see me have days where I make 3,000, 4,000, and then maybe another day I'll lose 1,000, I'll lose 2,000. If it's a bad day, I'll lose 3,000, right? And then bang, 10K day, 12K day, 18K day, 20K day. Why? Now, those days are few, but that's not important. What's important is they happen, and there is not a single losing day that is above $3,000. I don't even remember the last time that I've lost 3K in a day. Like, I really don't. I don't think I've lost 3K in a day this entire year. And the only reason for that is there's a couple main reasons. Number one, I know how to recognize conditions. And most importantly, I make a decision after recognizing those conditions. I don't just say, oh, hey, I'm expecting bad action. I'm going to trade full size today. Now I'm going to say, hey, I expect bad action. I'm going to trade half my size, if not less today. And when I say, hey, I'm recognizing good conditions, we're exactly where I want to be, I'm going to trade my full size. And I always tell you guys before it fucking happens. How many of you guys actually know? I tell you it before it happens. The day that I made 18K, the charting session of the night prior, I said, guys, we are going to get an A+ setup this week. We are going to get an A+ setup this week. Why? Because we have a bigger time frame model, we have an external draw on liquidity, and we're aligning with it on a smaller time frame. What is that going to provide us? High quality, efficient action, and we're going to get an A+ setup. And most importantly, is I have the confidence with that. And when I do recognize it, I actually put on size. I execute. I go on the offensive. You have to be able to recognize when to go on the offensive and when to go on the defensive. And most of the time, you're on the defensive. Again, trading is a capital preservation game. The hard part about trading is not making money. It is easy to make money in trading. The hard part about trading is keeping that money. And until you start focusing more on keeping money instead of making money is when you will be successful. During your journey to profitability, did you ever experience phases where you just felt drained and barely even had the motivation to wake up to look at the charts because you had so little improvement? I mean, I'm sure I did, but I would always end up back on the chart. I loved what I was doing. Like I've always had a passion for trading. And even when there were times where I was like, I didn't want to, I would still always end up doing it. People that taught you flaming you is the weirdest shit to me. You know what's even more funny too? Is I have screenshots that were sent to me of him literally copy pasting my daily biases into his Discord. Like, I could completely ruin this kid's entire career, but I'm not going to because I'm just not like that. But yes, he used to be in this Discord and he made his own Discord. And then he copy pasted my stuff. And then he started talking shit on me. But again, it just shows maturity. And it just shows that they have no fucking clue what they're doing. All right. On the short I took, the only thing I didn't like was there was no clear manipulation at the highs, SMT. But my notes on the pick were was my conviction. What are your thoughts? It's not. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I honestly liked my entry better, but again, you have to realize this too. I liked my entry better, but you won and I got stopped. What does that tell you? I know exactly what I'm looking for. I don't care if it got stopped. Because guess what? I know that setup is going to reward me 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10. Again, but in this condition, in these conditions, doesn't matter how good the setup is. Still going to be trading lower size. By March this year, it will be 1 year of me day trading. I started with options, which I'm now proud of. Started futures by end of August, had decent losses from options because of risk in the charts, had zero edge plan, and then I got into this Discord and switched to futures because it helped me take these losses back and go on a steady pattern of good risk to reward. Very sustained profits, even though I trade only one mini, but I care about the journey. I got my sales job for everything else, and I'm building up my passion/career. I'm not expecting to be a millionaire by the end of this year, or not even this year. Justin, never ever let one day tilt you or feel like it's the end of all. Think long term, enjoy the journey. Absolutely, Debo. Can you quickly go over why NVIDIA earnings are so important? Yeah. So NVIDIA earnings are super important because NVIDIA is one of the biggest blue chip stocks that NQ is in. Again, NQ is an indice. NQ tracks all of the biggest tech companies, right? NQ tracks all of the biggest tech companies. So when literally one of the biggest tech companies in the world has insanely, again, let's take a look at NVIDIA. When NVIDIA has in earnings and has a fucking 15%, I don't think you guys realize how big of a 15% increase in a single day of a blue chip stock. That is massive. That is massive. Like, absolutely insane. Like, this is like a $200 billion move overnight of this company. Like, $250 billion overnight. So, yeah. This is what made NQ bullish. So there are things like that. We don't normally talk about this, but this is actually a good day to talk about this. There's not normally a lot of things outside of what we're looking at that affects price action, right? We don't really care about, news that much. We don't really care about, the specifics of the news. But in a case like this, yes, it does impact the market. Put this on my wall when you send it to us. Love to see it, Chris. It's a great picture. It's a great picture. If there were to be an A+ setup, where would we have to pull back to, then look for an internal model? We'll get into that a little bit later. No, it's not a push for the algorithm. Because it's not news that has, according to NQ itself, right? Okay, so news will push towards the draw and liquidity if it's in relationship to the US, right? So all of red folder news, when we go to Forex Factory, right? PMI, FOMC, CPI, all of this news has relationship, and this sparks volatility. But NVIDIA is inside of NQ, right? This is, again, NQ tracks NVIDIA, right? So when one of the biggest blue chip stocks has a literally fucking 18% move, it's gonna affect NQ a lot. News just speeds up the movement that's already happening, but when you get that move injected into the markets based off of the performance of a massive company like that, it will push us in the direction, especially since there's no follows the tech like that. Exactly. What I found weird was NQ was mad behind today in pre-market and intraday, for example. 212 high ES cruises by all buy-side levels and took that out. NQ still hasn't. Happens. Always going to be 6 sister sometimes. Was this a bad setup? I took it on paper. No, it doesn't look too bad. Nice little breaker. Nice little unicorn. Would want to see what the bigger time frame draw looks like. Yeah, NVIDIA returns are insane. NVIDIA has been the biggest, like, grossing company, I think, of all time, like, in the shortest period of time for like, an actual tech company. 230% in a year for a company that is already as big as NVIDIA is fucking crazy. Now, again, I said I have a love-hate relationship with NVIDIA because I hate that we're just pumping. Like, because, again, this move just, it sets us up to have, like, no good opportunity, right? Because we're just going to be right back at all-time highs. But I am making like 40 grand off of FETs, so, you know, you win some and you lose some, I guess. And the reason why FET's doing well is because all AI coins have been just pumping because of NVIDIA, so. But it happens, you know. There's trade-offs. I got into FET right here, and I alerted FET right here. Somewhere here. My fill's around like 51 area. Can you elaborate on what you mean by when you say the objective of the day was taken? Does this mean daily high, low was taken, other session high? Exactly. Like, again, if I zoom out on the weekly, or the day, again, when I say the weekly draw, because the weekly objective had been taken, right? The weekly, which means higher time frame, 4 hour daily, right? This is the weekly objective, right? Because we're in this range. We have an SMT, right? Weekly objective is this high. Once this gets taken, every setup is lower. There's no A+ setup after this because we need more structure to validate a higher time frame draw. Right? Because what's an A+ setup? Lower time frame aligning with higher time frame. Higher time frame, a lower time frame can't align with a higher time frame here. Why? Because there's no higher time frame structure here. We have no idea where the market wants to go. We're at all-time highs. There's no drawn liquidity here. And I'm going to say this too. Like, I'm going to say this too. We are at a point in time in the market when, honestly, it is a great time to learn. You should be very thankful that you're learning how to trade in this time because it's a hard time because we're at all-time highs. And you have to learn how to have that level of discipline and that level of patience. Because when we are at all-time highs, you won't just get constant A+ setups, right? Like we will be if we start setting up and if we start selling off or start having more bigger time frame consolidation, right? Stuff like that. But trust me, when the time comes, I'm telling you right now, like I'm clipping this in the charting session. We will go back to this. I am telling you right now. Later this year, when market, because again, guys, we have to put in a high here. Now, I'm not going to say we have to, but I am really expecting us to put a high in here soon. Like, I don't expect us to go much further than where we are right now, especially with the election, especially with everything that's been going on. Senators and like high politicians are pulling out of positions. Banks are pulling out of positions. There's a lot of signs that we might be putting in a high here soon. When we do put in a high, we will bank when the market starts pulling back. I'm telling you right now, we will get a lot of good opportunity and a lot of good price action. So if you can get through these next couple months and just focus on learning, focus on building good habits, the time will come. The time will come. Again, how long do you plan on trading? A week, a day, a year? If you're only in for this, some of you guys are trading like you're only going to stay here for a day. Yes, I still believe there will be a Black Swan event this year. Did you guys see the cyber attacks? Did we not talk about fucking cyber attacks when I was in Paris? And how I said that it wasn't an if, it's a when. It's not an if thing, it's a when it's gonna fucking happen, because it will happen. And it's only gonna get fucking worse. My whole school was going insane. I didn't have service for like 8 hours. I'm telling you, something's brewing. Something's a brewing. What happened? There was a countrywide network issue. All of the networks went down. We basically got EMP'd, pretty much. But it was a test. We basically had a massive cyber attack from China. They said it was the sun. Yeah, you want to know why they said it was the sun? Because imagine what they would say if what it actually was. What if the government just came out and said, guys, we just had a massive attack from China. This is bad. You know, all this shit. Shit's going down. They're making money right now. They're finally making money. You think they're gonna fucking push that away by scaring the public? Hell no. Now, I don't mean to get into like politics and stuff, but like I love it. It's fun to talk about because I really do think this year is gonna go down and it's gonna be fun to fucking watch. And I'm gonna be trading it, and I'm super excited for have that point in my career. I'm not preying on the country's downfall whatsoever, but I'm not gonna be left in the dust. That's for sure. They took away our mini-map is crazy. I do not have a bunker, no. It's about time we have something bad happen. I'm not a pessimistic but everything has cycles. Stock market has cycles, but bad times will have good times even better. I agree. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not saying this as like a take advantage of, bad things, but, take advantage of bad things. While everybody else is scared, should be your time to go on the attack. And I'm not, that sounds bad because that talks about like fucking like killing people, but like, that's like in an apocalypse. I'm talking about when the market crashes, when real estate crashes, when shit goes down and everybody is scared, that fuels opportunity. Take advantage of it. And that is really how you create generational wealth. The most millionaires are created from bad times in the country. Dark is giving me the vibe. Dude, Dark fucks with your head. Dark definitely puts you in a mind for real, in a mind space for real. As big investors say and do, when everyone is fearful, and sell when everyone is greedy. Exactly. All right, let's talk a little bit about the trades that I took. Won't talk too much about them, but a little bit about the setups. Again, all trades today were taken with one contract. There was really only one A+ setup that I really liked. Today was simply just backtesting price action. First trade I took was in the morning. I took a little short. We came up, ended up sweeping this high. I wanted this to become turtle soup, right? Sweeping internal liquidity to go target external liquidity. I liked this recent low, which was the 1 hour imbalance after this big move in the overnight session. Where am I? Why am I on Ethereum? How the hell did I get here? 1 hour. We have not pulled back to any sort of imbalance here, so I wanted to see us come back to this 1 hour imbalance. We had all this generated sell side here. I wanted to see us come into that to then have morning manipulation, to then see if we could long to the upside. Never ended up coming back down. Zooming into the 15-second. We came up the high, had displacement through the low. I took a short on the breaker. Around a little bit off 8 points after getting filled here, we ended up coming back, and I got stopped out on this. Was super close to taking. Again, very inefficient price action. We should absolutely take this low and then go higher. If we take this high here, we should immediately sell off, take this low, and then reverse. Never did so. Small loss there. Next trade I took, came up, took the recent high. Again, this becomes another generated sell side level. I still wanted to see us come back to these lows. Displacement, had a nice little breaker, nice little unicorn, fair value gap, breaker, took a short, got stopped. Then gave it one more shot. Rejection of the breaker, waited for the break to the downside, took another short in the fair value gap, got stopped. This was probably the best setup of the day. Internal buy side ends up getting ran. Displacement through the lows. Another breaker, another unicorn, fair value gap. Took a short with the internal turtle soup after these equal highs were taken. And then, again, got stopped. And one of those days. Again, I would say the worst trades I would say today were probably these two. I would say this one and this one are fine. I would say if I did have to qualify them as like, if I, again, we're always trying to figure out what we did right, what we did wrong. What I did right, traded one contract. What did I do wrong? Honestly, I shouldn't have been trading today. Like, I literally, I told you guys going into the day, today is not even a day that I would normally trade. But I don't want to piss you guys off, and I want to come on live to help, but probably just could have paper traded, you know. I did give, you know, like $800,000 back, so that's, and again, I'm fine with that. You know, it doesn't really affect me, but, you know, I didn't need to. It shouldn't even been a day I traded, to be honest. This trade looks fine, though. Again, this is a loss, totally fine to take. This, to me, looks super, super clean. And this is when, again, false conviction starts to be built. Because you look at this and you're going to be like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? It didn't work out. Brother, you are doing nothing wrong. This is an A-plus setup. Now, again, it's not technically an A-plus setup because it's the conditions that we're in. But structurally wise, this is an A-plus setup, right? Again, just by looking at, like, take a look at this. Everybody should look at this and have the exact same fucking bias. Like, this to me looks super, super clean. I would take this trade any day of the week. And that's it. I'm totally, totally fine taking a loss here. This is a loss I should take. Like, I'm totally fine with that. But it just shows you how important recognizing conditions are. And being able to set yourself up and protect yourself. And that was it. Any questions? Yep, let's talk about what we're looking at going into tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow. What do I want to see? For me to take any sort of trade, I need to see us pull back to some bigger time frame imbalance. Again, we just pumped 600 points in 2 days. Taking longs up here is so ass and so lower probability without a retracement. So I need to see at least some form of retracement. At least this. That's all I'm looking for. And most of the time I need to see more. But from just recognizing how bullish we are, I just need to see us rebalance at this 1 hour. And again, that's when we zoom in and say, okay, we're generating sell side here, low here, low here. I need to see this get taken. If we do not take this low, there is just zero shot I am taking any sort of long. And I will still be trading super small size tomorrow. I am still going to be trading. Again, I'm telling you right fucking now, don't break my heart. Don't you fucking do it. I'm talking to every single one of you. Don't break my heart. I don't want to go to you tomorrow and say, Justin, I'm down super red on the day. Don't break my fucking heart right now. Do it for me. Do it for me. Don't trade your full size. Don't fucking over leverage. You're going to break my heart. So, I need to see this low get taken. Need to see this low get taken for me to touch anything. Something like this. That's the only way that I could possibly take a trade tomorrow. And I still will be trading low size. Any questions? How did you decide where to put your stop on the first trade? Where was it? It's at whatever the recent above whatever the breaker was. Let me go down. Hold on. Breaker, bank, bonk, short. And my stop was at this high. Actually, I didn't even think it was at this high. I think I put it like here. I just want to say, guys, be patient. Like I'm telling you right now, trust me. When the time comes, when the market starts doing something other than this, we will make a lot of money. And we will get a lot of opportunity. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. Please. Trust me. Because I don't want to leave you in the dust. Because I'm going to tell you right now that it's good. There's going to become, I'm telling you right fucking now, there's going to be a time this month or this year when I am going to start racking up fucking bread. You will see more 15K days, more 20K days, because I have the patience to wait for those days and wait for the opportunity, and most of you do not. So you'll end up ruining all of your conviction and blowing up all your capital. And by the time that those conditions do come, you don't actually have the conviction and you don't have the fucking capital to trade it. But guess what? I do. Because I know what I'm trading right now. And I know the conditions I'm trading right now. And I know what I'm looking for is not fucking this. You have to be in a long-term mindset. It's just another fucking day. Just another week. What's your favorite and least favorite months when trading? I haven't traded a full year yet, so I don't know what months are optimal. They're all different, but I will say this summer, most of the time, is pretty ass. Like June, July, and most of the time is pretty ass. At least from my experience. But we'll see. Again, it always differs. It always differs. End of year P&L or BM on 2 to 3 mil? Brother, you got way too much faith in me. 2 to 3 mil is crazy. I'll be happy if I make a mil. I don't think I'll get to that's next year. I would say next year I can probably get to 1 to 3 mil. This year I can at least get to half a mil. At least half a mil this year. I don't think you guys realize it's not about limiting yourself. It's about doing what you should be fucking doing. You will always make money. If you're focused on upping your size, again, when you're like, oh, and when you set a goal for yourself of like, oh, I want to make 1 million, then I'm going to be like, okay, well, I'm not really making like anything close to, what's going to get me to 1 million. So let me up my size to try to get there. And then you up your size, and then everything of what you've just been working on goes out the window because you're not familiar with trading the size, you're over-leveraged, emotions start springing up, and then you revert back to your bad habits. Will you be trading low size because it's not necessarily a pullback to equilibrium, that big move because of pullback? Again, yes. For example, like, again, think about this normally. If I was to show you this on a 1 minute chart right now, a 1 minute, and I was going to tell you guys, yeah, guys, I'm looking along right here, everybody would be, Justin, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, exactly. If price is fractal, should I be longing here on anything? No, probably not. And that's how you have to think about it. Would I be trading this if you should literally ask yourself, would I be trading this if it was a 1 minute? If the answer is no, you probably shouldn't trade it. Wait, what did I say? Did I say the opposite? I meant you should not trade this. This SMT will just not hold, I'm sorry to say. This SMT on the bigger time frame will just not hold. We are so bullish, and there's no reason to be. Like, and again, that is a sign of manipulation, and that is a sign of us putting in a high here soon. When the market keeps going higher, and there is no signs of why the market should go higher, like, you got to realize, guys, look at the fucking economy. Look at the country. We are in shambles right now. Absolute shambles, and yet the market is at the highest it's ever been. That's a divergence. That is a literal economic divergence. And we know by how we trade divergences and how a divergence works with literally any mathematical equation and what you look at, that when there is a divergence in some sort of system, it's a sign of a reversal. All right, any last questions for me, guys? Much love, guys. Much love. How can you fix being married to a bias? Zoom out. Again, pick something that invalidates the bias. If you have a bias, there has to be something that will invalidate that bias. And right when whatever that is gets invalidated, you have to be able to switch, right? What does that mean? Let's say I'm bullish. If a fair value gap gets ran through to the downside, which like invalidates whatever my bias was, there's no reason for me to be bullish. A lot of the times too, you're either too zoomed in or you're too zoomed out. Also, if you're married to a bias, clear your charts. Take every single drawing off your charts and reevaluate. I feel like my biggest fault is not being able to know when something is ready to be traded. Sometimes, Justin, you reviewed my trade multiple times and gave me a passing grade, but sometimes like 2 out of 10 times I'm sitting on my phone or desk and see an A+ setup by end, I'm getting fucked over by the market. Are you journaling? Okay, if you're journaling, go back in your journal and look at the times in which is your A+ setup actually an A+ setup? Is the conditions right? Is the external draw the same as the internal draw? Is everything that you wanted to see actually there? Or do you think it is? Is the market actually telling you? Or do you just think it is? Ran up my PA to with Apex to 12K. Been a long journey with the discipline. All new traders in here. Justin tells it how it is. Drops gems all the time. Thankful to be a part of a real community where discipline in the journey as its focus. Much love, Savvy. Keep killing it, brother. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Get some rest. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Peace out, guys.